Okay, so I'll do a quick video here showing you the steps on creating a Zap for invoices. So let me just go OrbisX, and you have to make sure it's the latest one that you're using. Make sure it's the latest. You can update that by reconnecting if it's not. Then we'll do new invoice. And when I say reconnecting, I mean like you re-put in your API and all that stuff for Zapier, and it'll update to the latest version. So, see, because there's version 1, for example, but this version 1.04 is the one that we're going to use. It's the latest version. Test. Boom, boom, boom. All right, perfect. So, found an invoice. So this, I'm using the new invoice hook, which is instant. So the minute an invoice is created. So just before doing this video, I was doing it from someone else as well. Well, a similar thing. And anyway, there weren't any invoices in there. So what I did is when I got to this stage and I went to test, it didn't find anything. So I went into OrbisX, created an invoice, and then it was able to pull up here. And then it showed up here, and it'll tell you if it's there, and you can click load more, and it'll pull it up. So you'll have to create one for it to actually work because it's looking for new data, right? So it's the new invoice hook. It's instant, so the minute it's saved. The other version, which isn't the hook, it scans it's between 2 and 15 minutes, and it looks for any invoices that it hasn't pulled over, and then pulls them over. I always recommend the hook if you have that option available, because it's instantaneous. So it pulls up, and it looks something like this. It's just showing you what the data looks like. We hit continue. Then we're going to want to find an app. In this case, I have a Freshbooks account, so I'll just pull it into Freshbooks. So it's the same regardless, whatever program you're doing. So create invoice. So then you choose your account. Boom. Next. All right. For some reason, there we go. Click. Okay. So then client, this is where now we're gonna start putting in the variables from OrbisX. So in this case, client name, boom, we'll take the client here. All right, then currency code. It doesn't show up initially, so we have to click show more. And I'll scroll down, currency code, boom. There we go. Date of issue, I'll leave blank just because it's going to take today's date. Language. So this is the most important part, line items. And that's what you're going to want to look for, whether it's QuickBooks or Xero or Freshbooks or whatever you're using, your accountant's using. The line items is what you want to look for. And this is where you're going to put in the different things that are actually on the items. When it's a line items field, these are going to loop through the different line items that are passed. So in this case, the description. So we'll click that one. And then we're going to find the line item description, which, there we go, line item description. So that one's in there. Then line item name, that's this one. Quantity, same thing. Line item quantity. So you're basically just going through and adding the line items, and it has to say line item something, and that's how you'll know it's a line item. And now we'll grab the tax, line item, tax. Where's tax name? It's tax percent. Line item tax name. There we go. Boom. And line item tax percent. And we'll scroll down. Line item tax percent. Perfect. And then line item unit cost. So let's go down here. Unit cost. Perfect. So basically that's what you want to do is fill out those items. So if you're using QuickBooks, for example, fill these out for each one under the line item section. And then the other stuff like the currency code, client, and stuff like that, put those in their appropriate boxes. And then if you have things like terms, you can do that as well. So we have notes, but then, there it is, terms. So we also have terms. And then you can put in the different things like invoice number. You can put that in as well for tracking purposes. Invoice ID. Boom. And then basically from there, you'd be able to connect those two together. And so it'll just take you here and it'll show that stuff is filled out. So these are the things that are filled out, and it's going to loop through your line items. In this case, there's only one line item on the invoice, but if there's more, it'll loop through these as part of the creation process because it's that special field that, I'll go back here. The special field is line items, and that's how it loops through those ones. So that's basically how you set it up, and then once you do the test, it'll bring that test one over into, you know, FreshBooks or QuickBooks or whatever, and then it'll give you the option to turn on the zap. And from that point, it'll start zapping all your new invoices. It doesn't do anything for backtracking old invoices because it's designed to sync data one way. What it'll do for old invoices, if you need to import those into your software or your accountant software, then you can do the export function and import them manually through, you know, an Excel file or CSV file.